You want to know the good news or the bad news first? Well, I'll start with the good news. Cyberpunk 2 will be released one day. The bad news is that it probably won't be for another 5 years at least. Although we don't know the exact release date, I do think we have enough solid information here to really get a good understanding of a time frame in which this game can be released. I'm going to talk about the current development of Cyberpunk 2, the in-game content that has been confirmed, and a realistic time frame of when we can expect to see it actually drop. Minimal speculation today, just really what we know and how we are going to get there. Without any further ado, if you do enjoy these kind of videos that you see today, please be sure to consider subscribing for all Cyberpunk news and updates. As well as that, make sure to use that new hype feature to hype this video if you have enjoyed it. So something really positive that we firstly do 100% know is what CDPR recently confirmed on social media. Their recent post stated how their development teams have been spread out throughout their numerous projects. 444 people have been allocated to The Witcher 4, which is their next big release and probably my most anticipated game after GTA 6 maybe. Now after that, Cyberpunk 2 has been allocated 116 people. This is a 20% increase since April, where they did have 96 people working on the game. While these numbers have been increased, it really does show that it is a clear indicator CDPR is laying a very solid foundation for Orion, and I can totally understand why they are making this move. Despite my personal love for the Witcher series with its fantastic storytelling and amazing characters, it really does feel like CDPR are going to be leaning towards Cyberpunk 2077 as their emerging financial powerhouse that is reshaping the studio's priorities. January from June 2025, CD Projekt Red reported earnings exceeding 120 million United States dollars in just 6 months. Now, astonishingly, 60% of that revenue, so around $72 million, came directly from Cyberpunk 2077. Now, you may be thinking, well, what has that got to do with Cyberpunk 2? Well, this shows that it is a primary focus that CDPR are going to be locking in Cyberpunk as their #1 game of the franchise. As much as I hate to admit it, well, I don't really mind it. I just like The Witcher slightly more, but Cyberpunk is going to be their big hitter. It's going to be their golden goose, so you can expect Cyberpunk 2 to be the front runner of that revolution. In CDPR's H1 2020 financial report, it highlighted a cash reserve of about 360 million United States dollars, giving them the flexibility to scale up Cyberpunk 2's development even more. And this 20% growth could hint at that, and it certainly allows them to put more resources and focus on the game. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the pre-production and also about the engine transition that is going to be happening in Cyberpunk 2. As of May 2025, we found out that the game is firmly in pre-production, a crucial phase that is setting the stage for everything to come. This is all about laying the groundwork. Writers are brainstorming character arcs, the artists are sketching out concept art for new characters and potential areas within Night City, and developers are wrestling with the technical framework that will bring this dystopian vision to life. Now, the biggest headline here is the engine switch. CD Projekt Red is abandoning its in-house Red engine, which powered Cyberpunk 2077 and the entire Witcher trilogy, in favor of using Unreal 5 engine. Now, this is a massive shift for a studio that has spent decades refining Red Engine, and it is packed with numerous implications. The decision, first hinted at in 2020 and early confirmed in 2025, stems from a desire to leverage a more robust, externally supported platform that can handle the next generation of gaming demands. Now, Unreal Engine 5 is developed by Epic Games and of course brings a suite of cutting-edge tools that promise to elevate Cyberpunk 2's visual and technical fidelity. This is going to be the meta going forward as well for CD Projekt Red. Of course, we know that The Witcher 4 is going to be made entirely using Unreal Engine as well, which we did see from a recent tech demo. Unreal Engine 5 always seems to be a very controversial topic in the gaming world. Some people like that things are going on to it, however, a lot of people think that games feel like they're copy and pasted whilst using this same engine. They want studios to be more unique, more creative, and use their in-house tools to help progress their game forward and make it more unique. Also, with it being a pain in the butt for modders to get their stuff put onto the game, it will be a controversial topic. However, I'm sure many years down the line this is going to be optimized even further and it's going to run a lot smoother than it does now for many games. But anyway, I want to talk about one of the more exciting factors about Cyberpunk 2, and that is actually going to be the map of it. So we know that Cyberpunk 2, or Orion, whatever you want to call it, will span with 2 major cities. Now, this is obviously going to completely redefine the scope of what we were playing in Cyberpunk 2077 with the option to play in 2 cities. So the first is obviously obviously the iconic Night City, the pulsating neon jungle that has obviously stole many of our hearts in Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think it'll exactly be the same Night City that we left behind, however, post-77 events suggest a dramatic shift. Now, in my opinion, I'm thinking Militech are going to have a lot, or well, basically all of the power in Night City, especially with the downfall of Arasaka. I'm thinking under Militech's iron rule, we're going to be seeing a lot more big tanks, a lot more war machines, if you want to call them that. As well as that, I can imagine much of the infrastructure may be crumbling from what it once was. It certainly does set the stage for a sequel that dives even deeper into this dystopian event. So anyway, we know it's Night City, but what could that second city be? Well, it has been teased as a Chicago gone wrong type city. But I don't know about you guys, but every sort of comment I see regarding this situation is, oh, well, it's basically Chicago then. Tell me, is Chicago really that bad of a place? Do I have to book a flight to go and check it out for myself? I'm not sure what to expect here. Some sort of post-apocalyptic environment, some skyscrapers that are just half collapsed from the concrete warfare? Am I going to be seeing rusted vehicles and just industrial debris everywhere? CDPR's choice to expand beyond Night City into this new urban nightmare is what I'm thinking, is likely connected across the Badlands, and I believe this leap could double the game's map size, even more potentially. Now, this expansion of the map aligns perfectly with CDPR's history of ambitious world building. It's a trait that defines their reputation all the way back since The Witcher 3's early days. The Witcher 3 offered contrasting landscapes, Velen's war-torn swamps, Skellige's rugged islands, and Novigrad's bustling ports, each with unique cultures and quests. Cyberpunk's Night City was a technical marvel despite its launch flaws, packing 6 different districts into a cohesive whole city. Now, this Chicago gone wrong tag suggests a city with its own identity, possibly a hub for new factions, maybe those rogue AI networks we were talking about. As well as that, I believe these are both going to be connected by the Badlands, and it opens up more possibilities for dynamic travel. It also does address a lot of people's critique as a confined map with Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of people felt that Night City was very dense, and its lack of explorable outskirts left some wanting a bit more. Now, by adding this Chicago and the Badlands, CDPR could deliver a world that really truly feels boundless. For example, I'm thinking that Chicago might force us to survive a bit more and focus on more rebellion, creating a more yin and yang dynamic of the whole Cyberpunk world. But it would be actually nice to play in this Chicago gone wrong style city, so when can we expect to see it drop? Well, this is the sort of speculative part of the video, even though I did kind of yap a lot about the facts I previously said, so I do apologise for carrying on so much, but bear with me. So, as of now, a concrete release date obviously remains unknown. I'm just going to be honest, no one knows. There's no inside information, there's no leaks. It is all shrouded in the mist of CDPR's meticulous development process. But I do think we have some sort of breadcrumbs that we can follow, so I'll try my best to break down using the information what we know to maybe give us an estimate of when we can see it drop. So The Witcher 4 entered full production in mid-2024, and it's got a 444-person team very hard at work. And based off CDPR's historical development cycles, The Witcher 3 took about 4 years from a full production to its May 2015 release, despite some delays. So, with The Witcher 4, we might see it drop about late 2027 or early 2028, assuming that there's no major setbacks. Now, since Cyberpunk 2 is in pre-production with its 116-person team and being developed independently by multiple studios, its timeline can run parallel, but it won't shift to full production until The Witcher 4 nears completion. Now, my best guess is factoring all of these variables, a release window within 5 years from now, landing us in maybe 2029 to 2030, although this hinges heavily on how smooth the Unreal Engine 5 transition truly goes and how CDPR balances their resources. You've got to understand that they have a lot of studios working on this beyond Warsaw, with studios in Boston, Vancouver and Krakow, and it allows parallel development. It mirrors sort of Ubisoft's multi-studio model for the Assassin's Creed titles. I don't really like to compare those games because I believe Assassin's Creed games are very sloppy at this point in time, but it's probably a good example to use right here. Different teams handle different phases, potentially shaving a year off the timeline. AAA sequels often take 5 to 7 years post-announcement. Red Dead Redemption 2 took 8 years from 2010 to 2018, and as well as that, GTA spanned to almost a decade from 2004 to 2013. Now, with Orion announced in 2022, a 2029 to 2030 window does fit this trend. Obviously, different studios move at different paces, especially if CDPR really does aim for that polished launch, which I can assure you they absolutely will. It is a massive lesson from Cyberpunk 2077's launch, and it's something they won't want to repeat again. I can guarantee you they will be taking their time with this game. If it needs to be delayed, I'm promising you now, it will be delayed. delayed for as long as it possibly needs to be. That'll be all from me today, however, so let me know what you think in the comments. What are you most excited for about Cyberpunk Orion, or Cyberpunk 2 we'll call it for now? When do you think this game is actually going to release? Do you think 2030 is realistic in terms of our waiting time, or do you think it's going to be even longer? It's a very exciting time to be a Cyberpunk fan, so make sure you subscribe and stick around for upcoming content regarding all things Cyberpunk. As always, thank you very much for watching and have an amazing rest of your day.